My name is Courtland. The last 2 years I've been in Southwest Mississippi as the offensive coordinator down there in Macomb, Mississippi. Mississippi Junior College football. Great league, great coaches, great players. Some of the best players and coaches you probably never heard of and never seen yet. But it's been a great experience for me. I recently started last week as the offensive coordinator at Mississippi College. So I got the chance to go to Mississippi College. I had a relationship with Coach Bland previously, and he brought me in to help him kind of expand on the passing game a little bit. And we're still going to base out of the triple option, and that's going to be, that's their bread and butter. That's what they've done for a long time. But he knew he wanted to expand and get better at the passing game stuff. And so that's why he asked me to come join him, and I'm excited about that. It's been fun. It's been a fun transition. You're going to see some of that transition from being 10, 11 personnel at Southwest to translating it to a triple option program, and how my thought process has been able to do that. So first things first, when I took the job at Southwest, they hadn't won a football game there in 3 years. So it was a complete and total rebuild. And they were triple option when I got the job at Southwest. And when I got down there, the head coach brought me in and he said, hey, we want to do something different, So I said, okay. So we went 10, 11 personnel. First thing we had to do was get players, right? First thing first, offensive line. We needed offensive linemen. Everybody that we had was a triple option offensive lineman. So we went out and recruited some offensive linemen, recruited a quarterback, receivers. But the thing I'm so proud about these guys, number one, they took on a huge burden and a huge challenge. Because some of these guys could have gone anywhere else in the league that they wanted to. But when we got the job at Southwest, we said, number one, you're going to get an opportunity to play as a freshman, which is huge. And number two, you're going to get a chance to build something, okay? So all these guys on this board right here, they played 2 years for me the last 2 seasons. The first 2 SEC signees out of Southwest in over 20 years. We had the number 1 offensive tackle in junior college football, Isaiah Miller, that went to Auburn. We had a top 10 overall JUCO player, receiver, in Jacoby Belazar, that went to Mississippi State. Another Division I receiver that went to Florida International. He was a local guy. 4 total Division I offensive linemen, and then 3 Division II guys. Quarterback signed at Tuskegee. 1 more offensive lineman that went to West Alabama, and then a running back that went to East Central in Oklahoma. So I'm really proud of them and what they did for that school, what they did for that program, and I'm really appreciative because they helped build my name, right? What they've done for me has helped me grow and learn as a coach. So first things first. All right, I'm a big believer in starting from the basics, okay? Starting from the very beginning, okay? We're gonna talk about my philosophy as far as how do I get there, how do I streamline that process, how do I streamline communication, okay? So the first things first, we want to have a clear process from players to coaches, everybody that's involved with the program. I want everybody to know and speak the same language, okay? We're not all gonna think the same, okay? I don't want everybody to think the same all the time. I want different ideas. I want people to have their own opinions. But we're all gonna speak the same language, right? Okay? If I'm talking about a 3 technique or a 5 or a 0 or a shade or a 1 or a 2 or a 2-eye or a 4-eye, or do you call it 2 read, do you call it cover 8, do you call it cover 4, whatever the situation may be, we need to speak the same language, okay? We all need to be talking and speaking the same language so it's easy for us to understand what's going on around us, okay? And then the other thing is, I want my guys to be independent decision makers, okay? I want to give them the opportunity to become good, independent decision makers. Because at the end of the day, when we're out there practicing and we're going over stuff, and we're able to talk to them on the field and give them an adjustment or this or that, during the game, that's gone. I got to put 11 guys out there that I trust that are going to talk the same way, communicate, make decisions on their own, make good decisions on their own, right? So I got to trust that they're going to go out and make good decisions. And at the end of the day, we're going to coach them up and turn them loose, okay? We're going to give them the information, the best information that we have possible to give them, and then let them go make plays. And then we can make adjustments as we go, okay? But first things first, the 3 principles of my philosophy. When I graduated college, my dad told me, he said, if you can do these 3 things, you'll be successful no matter what you do. If it's coaching, if it's selling cars, if it's whatever the case may be, whatever you decide to do, whatever you want to be, if you can communicate clearly, if you can think critically, and you can solve problems, you'll be good no matter what you do in life, okay? So I got to thinking about it, and I knew I wanted to coach. I fell in love with coaching. I started at North Alabama under Mark Huntsville, and then Terry Bowden, and then finished up my graduate assistantship under Bobby Wallace and Cody Gross, head coach over at Athens High School. And so I had gotten such an education and such a love for coaching that I knew that's what I wanted to do. I knew that's who I wanted to be. And so when my dad told me this, I thought, man, that is football. If you can communicate, if you can think, and you can solve problems on every single play, that's football in a nutshell. So I started to think about it, started to kind of expand on it, okay? So the first things first, day one in our program as an offense, when you come in the door, we're going to talk about communicating clearly. Everything that we do on a day-to-day basis, okay? Whether you're going to class, or you're going out in public, or you're coming into this football facility, you're going to learn how to communicate, okay? You're going to talk, okay? Especially at the offensive line position. Offensive line's got to talk and be on the same page more than anybody on the field. They got to have calls, they got to have checks, they got to know where they're going, they got to be able to communicate, they got to be able to talk. If you can't talk, you're going to be in trouble. If you can't talk and make adjustments and say, okay, I'm going here, you're going there, or hey, they got an extra guy coming up off the edge, if you can't talk, you're in trouble. So the first thing we're going to do in order to be better people and better football players is we're going to learn how to communicate, okay? Perfect example, you miss class at 8 a.m., okay? Don't lie to me. If you overslept, just tell me, okay? I make mistakes, I oversleep, but I need to know, okay? Are you sick? Are you hurt? Did something happen at home? If any of those things are the case, we can work through that, right? If any of those things are happening to you in your personal life, I can help you. If you need to get home to see mama, I can help you get home to see mama. Or if you're not feeling well, I can get you to the doctor. Or if you just overslept, hey man, it happens sometimes. We're gonna run, we're gonna let it go by, and then boom. That's it, right? Okay? But you gotta talk to me. You gotta give me good information so I can help you. And it's the same thing for me. I gotta give them good information so I can help them, right? So everything that we start with is, number one, communicate clearly, okay? Have a clear set of guidelines and expectations for you and your players, okay? Clear set of expectations and guidelines for you and your players. Coaches too, okay? They have to know the process. They have to know what your calls are. They have to know what your goal is, right? Okay? Establish terminology amongst the group early, okay? Whatever your terminology is going to be, play calls, whatever you're calling front, whatever you're calling a blitz, whatever you're calling the coverage, establish that early, okay? Establish that early so that way the more time they get to spend talking it and saying it, the more they learn and the easier they are, the better they are at making decisions on their own, okay? Find different ways to communicate with the players to keep them engaged, okay? Walkthroughs, study guides, meetings, whatever the case may be, okay? Find different ways to keep them engaged. Also find the ways that they learn the best, okay? Find the ways that they learn the best. My receiver that went to Mississippi State, great kid, super kid. He did better in one-on-one settings, okay? When he was in a room like this with a lot of people, he got overwhelmed, okay? He got self-conscious, he got overwhelmed. He didn't learn well in a big group setting. So meetings for him, I kind of knew, hey, if I'm installing something new, I need to have Bizarre in here maybe 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after, because I got to have this one-on-one time with him. Because that's how he learned. It wasn't that he was a bad kid. It wasn't that he was trying to get extra attention or extra help or anything like that. That's just how he learned. He felt more comfortable when it was just me and him, and he could ask questions and he could talk. He didn't have to feel like he was on display in front of the group if he didn't understand something, right? So find those different ways to keep them engaged. One of the things that Buddy Stevens was so great at East Mississippi was walkthroughs. We walked through how to walk through. We walked through our walkthroughs, okay? I'm talking about before practice, after meetings, every day, every night, we walked through, okay? Now, of course, Buddy was running the bingo call. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the bingo call, kind of the old Lavelle Edwards BYU. You get edge pressure, that tackle's staying locked on, and that guard is bailing. He's bingoing out, he's shuffling out, and he's gonna pick up that edge pressure. So it took a little bit more communication with him. So we walked through that constantly all the time, the bingo. But walkthroughs were great. We saw every front, we saw every blitz, we saw everything. And sometimes those players, they felt like, man, I'm tired, but still, hey, at the same time, they saw it over and over and over again. Kind of like Jackie Moon, the throw-up play. Yeah. We're going to run this play until we puke, right? We're going to run this play until we puke, because at the end of the day, when the game's on the line, you're going to know how to run this play, right? Okay? But teach them to be comfortable in using their voice in all situations, okay? Teach them to be comfortable using their voice, all right? Like what I was talking about with Bizarre, okay? Bizarre, he was able to get to that point where we understood how best he learned, okay? And that's okay. I think that's great. I want them to be able to talk to me one-on-one. I want them to be able to talk to their position coaches. I want them to be able to talk to people in their real life, okay? And that way, when they go to these places, when they go to schools, when they go to Mississippi State, when he first got to Mississippi State, he had no problem talking to his receivers coach and saying, man, when I was in JUCO, man, this is what my OC did for me. This is how it worked for me, okay? And then I also got to have those conversations with those coaches as well, right? So when he was getting recruited, now I could talk to, at the time it was Drew Hollingshead, but now Chad Bumpus, and they say, hey, tell me about Bizarre. Oh, shoot, man. You get this kid one-on-one, he'll learn anything you want him to learn. But you got to get him one-on-one. That's where he's going to really start to build that relationship and trust with you, right? Same thing with my tackle that went to Auburn, okay? Now, my tackle that went to Auburn, he said like 3 words every day. 90% of it was yeah, okay? So you learn your players, you learn how they talk, you learn how they say, everybody good, too tall, you good? Yeah. I knew it was good. Now, I get to a point and I'm in the middle of a meeting, hey man, too tall, you good? Yeah. You sure? You want to go over that again? Yeah. Okay. No problem, right? No problem. But you could tell by his body language and the way that he talked. I knew when he was confident, I knew when he wasn't, right? So you teach them to be confident using their voice. Whatever their voice is, let them use their voice. Help them develop, to talk, to say things, to do things. One of the things when Hugh Freeze got the job at Auburn, when he came down and saw Too Tall, he said the most amazing thing that he thought about Too Tall was he could talk ball with him. They sat and they talked through duo. They sat and because we ran duo. They sat and they talked through power. They sat and they talked through inside zone. And he was able to talk to him. And he thought that was the coolest thing in the world. He said, I'm thinking, here's a JUCO guy. We're going to have to do some work. We're going to have to bring him along. We're going to have to get him this and that. He was like, man, he could talk. And I thought that was really a really cool thing. So build communication as a unit, even separate from you as a coach, okay? On the offensive line, I think it's so important that those 5 guys, 10 guys, however many guys that you have, they have their own group, okay? They have their own thing. They have their own unit. They eat lunch together in the calf. They go out and they have fun together at night. They're in the dorms playing video games or hanging out or whatever the case may be. I want them to have communication as a unit, even separate from me as a coach, okay? I don't want to be in their business all the time. I want them to be individuals that go out and make good decisions, okay? And also, the biggest thing that I learned too with communicating, don't take anything for granted, okay? Don't take anything for granted with these guys, okay? When I got to Southwest and I first got my first slide, it was my first time being offensive coordinator, man. I was jazzed up, I was so excited. I had all my plays and calls and coverages and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And first day, we report in July, and I'm talking to the quarterback, and I'm like, all right, this is our 1 high side, this is our 2 high side, this is our man beater, this is our zone beater. And he's sitting there looking at me like, what's 1 high and 2 high? Yeah. That hit me in the face. I'm sitting here thinking like, man, this dude's my starting quarterback. We're playing college football, and I got to go back and teach him what's 1 high and 2 high. Don't take anything for granted though. Don't take anything for granted with these guys. Go from the very beginning and teach them the basics. Talk about it. And hey, it might be boring for some guys. It might be a refresher course for some guys. It might be really good information. Never take for granted that they know what a zero is. Never take for granted that they know what a 3 technique is and why that 3 technique is there. That 3 technique is their best defensive lineman 90% of the time. Because he can play the run, he can pass rush, he's long, he's athletic, he's big, he's strong, okay? They may not have a clue that that's what a 3 technique is, and that's what he does, right? So don't take anything for granted when you're communicating with these guys, okay? Make sure that they don't know what they don't know, okay? It's my job as a coach to help them learn and help them grow and communicate, right? Okay? So that's the first step, okay? Also, the big part of communicating, okay? When we're communicating, we're talking about coverages, plays, fronts, stunts, blitzes, all that kind of stuff, okay? After we communicate and we talk about it with them, this is their best stuff, this is what they do, okay? Now, we put them on the field and we think about it, okay? We put them on the field, we go out there and say, okay, we're seeing an even front this week, okay? We're seeing an even man front, this is how they're gonna line up, they're gonna play 4-2-5, a 3-3-5, whatever the case may be, okay? We put them out there and we say, all right, now you gotta think about it, okay? We've talked about what they're gonna do, now you gotta think about you gotta critically think, okay? What's critical thinking, okay? It's the evaluation of choices, okay? So every day when you wake up, you have a set of choices, okay? It's raining outside, it's cold, it's a nasty day. I had an 8 o'clock class, man, I don't feel like going. What's gonna happen if I don't go? Coach is gonna get mad at me, and I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna have to run, I don't wanna do it, okay? You have that option, you have that choice not to go, but you gotta understand that the outcome could be, I find out, and now you gotta paint lines after practice, right? Or you gotta roll, or whatever the case may be. You have an evaluation of choices. Same thing when you line up and you have a football play, okay? We've talked about it, we've talked about their fronts, we've talked about their coverages. Now you have to line up and you have to make choices based on what you see around you, okay? So that's what the critical thinking part of it is, okay? Critical thinking is the evaluation of choices and their potential outcomes, okay? Applying knowledge of the opponent and knowledge of the game in a certain situation, it also applies in life, okay? Like we were talking about, do you wake up in the morning and decide to go to work? Do you wake up in the morning and decide to do what you're supposed to do? Do you turn in that homework assignment in on time? Okay? Do you put in the extra time in the film room? Okay? All of those things, okay? That's critical thinking, because those choices, they have outcomes, okay? So you gotta make sure that you're making good choices, right? Okay? Understand that your actions affect the people around you, okay? That's the other part of critical thinking. Whatever choice that you may think it's for you, but guess what? If you make a choice to not show up and not go to class, or you make a choice to not show up and not do your job, it's gonna affect somebody around you. Because now, guess what? If you don't decide to go to class, and it's 8 o'clock and the head coach finds out, guess who he's calling? He's calling me. And guess what? It's not gonna be a fun conversation either, okay? So now, you've got him in a bad mood, you've got me in a bad mood, and I gotta call you, and I'm in a bad mood and put you in a bad mood, right? Okay, so your choices affect the people around you, okay? Even if you think, nothing's gonna happen if I'm not hurting anybody if I don't go today. That's not true, okay? Your choices always affect people around you, okay? But also, again, we wanna get to the point where we develop those guys to make good choices on their own, okay? Because at the end of the day, we all gotta put 11 guys out there on the field to do their job, right? Okay? So develop those guys to make those good choices on their own, okay? So the third thing that we do every play, every day, okay, solve a problem. What's problem solving? It's taking action, okay? We've talked about it, we've thought about it, now we gotta take action, okay? Everything that we do, we've talked about it, we've thought about it, now we gotta take action, okay? So after you've gone through our process, okay? All right, we've talked about this 4-man front. We've talked about who their best end is. We've talked about who their best pass rusher is. We've talked about what their top moves are in pass rushing, okay? Now we've gone out there on the field and we've seen it, okay? We know they're in a tight 5. as opposed to a wide 7, okay? If they're in a tight 5 compared to a wide 7, that's a big deal. That's a big difference for us, right? Because now he's up on us. So how does that change our thought process? How does that change how we react, okay? And solve problems, okay? In order to solve problems, you must act quickly and with confidence, okay? You have to. And with football, that's all it is. You get 10 seconds maybe at the line of scrimmage to get up there and make your calls and figure out what's going on. Now we just gotta roll, okay? Now we gotta go, okay? So in order for those guys to make decisions quickly, they have to talk about things, they have to evaluate choices, and now they have to act with confidence, okay? Understand that failure is a natural part of anything that we do, okay? Anytime you go to take action on something, there's a chance it could not work, okay? There is a chance it could not work. But if you don't do anything, it's definitely not gonna work, okay? So you have to understand that failure is a natural part of anything that you do. And to be confident in your decision making, you have to understand that that's a risk, okay? If we all knew we were gonna line up and win every time we went out and played, it would lose its luster after a while. Part of the fun of coaching is there's a chance you could lose, okay? There's a chance that guy might be better than us, right? But we go back and it's the chase, it's the adrenaline rush. It's going through and saying, I don't know if this is all gonna work out the way we planned it, but we're gonna go do it and we're gonna go have fun, and we're gonna go see what happens, okay? Because if we just won every time, then it would just lose its luster, okay? So we gotta understand that failure is a part of it and take that fear of failure away from them. Take the fear of failure away from them, okay? So many guys are crippled because they don't wanna fail. They don't wanna fail. I mean, and I don't want any of my guys to lose. I don't ever want them to hurt or feel bad about themselves or anything like that. But you gotta take that fear away from them. You got to. You get 70 plays on offense in a game. You get 70 chances, okay? Not all 70 are gonna go your way. At some point in time, you're gonna have a mistake. You're gonna have something that doesn't work out the way you thought it would, right? You gotta remove that fear of failure from them. Because that fear of failure is gonna be a problem that continues to linger through the game, through their life, everything. So we gotta take that fear of failure away from them, okay? All right. So again, in effort to streamline communication, right? The 3 things that we're gonna teach, that I teach all of my guys, whether you're a quarterback, receiver, running back, O-line. Every snap, we're looking for 3 things, okay? Leverage, eyes, and depth. Leverage, eyes, and depth. We're looking for those 3 things on every snap, okay? Because all 3 of those things are important to us in telling us a story of what the defense is about to do, right? Okay? All of us have been there at practices and we hear the number 1 phrase from defensive coaches all the time. Alignment, assignment, alignment, assignment, alignment, assignment, right? All of them say the same thing. Alignment, assignment, okay? So if we can pick out these 3 things as an offense, it's gonna help us make confident decisions quickly, okay? All right? So, first things first, okay? Leverage, where are they located, okay? And how does this relate to all different levels and all different positions, right? If I'm a corner, so let's say if I'm the corner and you're the receiver, right? If I'm inside leverage, I'm telling you a story, right? I'm telling you that I've got the inside. I'm not gonna let you release and come in and run slants, hitches, anything like that, right? Okay? And I feel like I've got help outside of it, okay? If I'm head up of this guy, okay, I'm thinking probably more man coverage and I'm gonna collision you and make contact, right? If I'm outside leverage, that's telling a certain story, okay? I'm telling you I'm gonna work and probably keep my eyes inside because I know I've got help somewhere in here, right? And I'm trying to get deep. No different than if we're talking about offensive line play, okay? Let's say you're the center and I'm shade, okay? That leverage is telling you a story, right? Okay, that leverage is telling you that, hey, I'm on your shoulder, I'm gonna try and disrupt things right here. Now if I widen out, okay, let's say I widen out and I'm playing a true 1 technique or something, or a 2-eye. That's different leverage, different story, right? Head up, now I'm a 0 nose, okay? Same thing if I'm at tackle, okay? If I'm at tackle and I'm inside of you and I'm a 3 technique, that's leverage, right? Okay? Same thing if I'm playing head up and And all those stories tell us, all those leverages tell us a different story, okay? And so if we can identify their leverage, that's gonna give us a good jump start of where we wanna be, okay, and what we need to do, okay? Next thing is their eyes, okay? After you've looked at it, what are they looking at, okay? And talking about defensive line play, they should be looking at the ball, right? I mean, that's where their eyes should be, okay? So if their eyes aren't on the ball, guess what I'm thinking is coming? Movement. Something's coming, right? If they're not looking at the ball, either that guy's not paying attention and I'm gonna come off and I'm gonna annihilate him, or that guy's moving somewhere else. He's getting his eyes away from the ball because he knows he's gotta make room for himself to go one way or the other, right? Okay, same thing with defensive backs, okay? If my eyes are on the receiver and I'm right here, head up, now I know it's man-to-man, okay? If I'm the quarterback, I'm thinking, shoot, he's head up, his eyes are on that receiver right here, he's not even worried about anything, I know it's man-to-man. Now I know if he's cocked outside and his eyes are number 2, I got some type of zone coverage. So these are easy pre-snap indicators that we can look at and say, got him, okay? I got him, all right? And then depth, how close or far away are they to us, okay? How close or far away are they to us? Whether you're, again, corner, safety, linebacker, O-line, D-line, okay? If I'm playing 7 yards leverage corner, okay, I'm probably not running deep balls, right? Probably not trying to go over the top with them. They're telling me by their depth, I'm not giving you that, right? I'm gonna give you the underneath stuff. I'm gonna give you the easy stuff, right? Okay? Now, same thing if I'm on the O-line or the D-line, okay? If this guy's been on me all game, and all of a sudden he lines up and he takes just a half a step back, what's he doing? He's twisting. He's moving. If he's been on me, up on the line of scrimmage, hugging the ball, right here all game, now he takes just a half a step back and he's back, shoot, that guy's moving. He's gone. He's opening up space and he knows he's gotta get back. He's gotta get room for that guy to come in, right? Okay? So if we can identify leverage, eyes, and depth on every snap, okay, then we got a chance to have a successful play. And it's gonna help streamline our decision-making ability, right? Okay? So you see 2 different pictures here, 2 different stories, okay? All right? Again, when we talk about leverage, eyes, and depth, this picture right here, we know it's man-free, right? 100%. If we're the quarterback. I mean, that's easy, plain as day, right? I mean, head up. His eyes are inside right now in this picture, but head up, eyes are on the receiver. Head up, eyes are on the receiver. Head up, eyes are on the receiver. Man, easy. If I'm the quarterback, I already know if it's man-to-man coverage, I just find my best receiver. Where's number 3? Okay, he's right here in the backfield. That's our best guy. Okay, we ran a wheel route. We ran mesh wheel out of this first play of the game because we knew that Pearl River was a heavy man-to-man coverage team. So we come out, get the pre-snap look that we want, boom, I know automatically it's going to 3, and it was a 70-yard touchdown, first play of the game, okay? But it took the decision-making completely out of the equation for the quarterback because he knew all of a sudden before we line up on the line of scrimmage right here, oh, it's over with, I'm going to Bizarre. Easy, no thoughts, no worries, nothing like that, just catch the snap, get you your drop, throw it to your dude, right? Okay? Over here, this is telling us a completely different story. So this is Mississippi Gulf Coast, right? Starting corner at Mississippi State right now, okay? Starting safety at Liberty. Very, very good football team, okay? Very, very traditionally good football team in this league, okay? They were a huge 2-read team though, okay? And we had played Pearl River the week before, and they saw Pearl River play us man-to-man, and they said, nah, we're gonna give you 2-read. Okay, we're gonna play zone. We're not gonna give you those opportunities to get one-on-one matchups. Okay, we're gonna sit back and play zone coverage and see if you guys can run the football. Okay, but again, you look at leverage, eyes, and depth. Okay, corners cocked inside, eyes on number 2. Okay, corner cocked inside, eyes on number 2. Corner cocked inside, eyes on number 2. Safety's on the hashes, right? Okay. We know automatically as a quarterback, hey, it's some type of cover 2, cover 4, but we knew they were a heavy 2-read team, so we can eliminate options early, okay? Same thing right here, okay? if we're looking at leverage, eyes, and depth, okay? All right, again, Pearl River right here. We knew they were a heavy blitz man coverage team, okay? So we have leverage, eyes, and depth, all these things, 4-man front, okay? Wide stance there. He's tight on the guard. He's kind of in between the center and the guard there. Okay, all these things, they're telling us a different story, right? Okay, we knew they're bringing pressure. Okay, we knew they're bringing pressure. They're a heavy man blitz team. Okay, now we're playing Mississippi Delta, odd front. Okay, odd front playing what we call cub, which is the mint front. Okay, we called it cub, like a mini bear kind of deal. Okay, because they would bring this extra bird on the line of scrimmage right here and walk him up. So we can eliminate those things pre-snap. Okay. So now, how does this all tie together, okay? How does this all work together for us to be able to protect the quarterback, okay? Blocking is all about angles. It's all about angles, okay? It's geometry, okay? If you're a pass rusher, you're gonna try and take the shortest route to the quarterback, right? Whatever it is, shortest route to the quarterback, okay? So if I'm an offensive lineman and I'm a tackle, okay? I'm gonna shut off the shortest route first, okay? So blocking is all about angles, okay? And understanding their pre-snap alignment helps us to block that angle, right? Okay? So if he's playing a wide 5, okay, or he's playing a 7 technique, he's way out there, okay? I know from the jump, if I'm the tackle right here and I see that guy with a lot of distance, now I'm gonna help give myself a chance, but I'm going straight back, right? Okay? I'm going straight back because I know this guy's out there. He's telling me from the snap, from the jump, I'm playing C-gap. I'm trying to get to the edge. I'm trying to get your gap, okay? Now, if he's a tight 5 and he's on my shoulder, that tells me a totally different story, right? So now, am I going to sit here? Am I going to worry about getting depth? Shoot, no, I'm going to keep the fight right here where he is because he's telling me by his alignment, he's probably going to try and 2-gap it, right? He's going to look for the shortest, easiest path, whether it's inside or out, okay? So I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to take one set, boom, right here, okay? But if we understand to block the angle, you can block the man, okay? If you're outmanned and you're outgunned, at the end of the day, there's no scheme, there's nothing that we can do, there's not a thing in the world we can do. If we can't block that in, we can't block him. If he's better than us, he's better than us. Now, we can chip with the back, we can put a tight end out there. There's things we can do to help ourselves, right? But at the end of the day, we're going to teach to block the angle, okay? If you can block the angle, at least you can be in the way. He may beat you eventually, but let's say we're going to block the angle first. You block the angle, you block the man, okay? So, when we determine our kick sets, okay, the way we ended up teaching it, okay, if we're determining our kick sets, okay, one set is 1 foot of distance, or he's touching me, okay? So if he's playing a tight 5 on my shoulder right here, again, like we said, I'm not going to teach him to kick out or kick back, 3 kicks, get deep, right? I'm going to say, all right, he's right here on me, 1 kick, 1 set, okay? My outside foot is in his crotch all the time, okay? It never leaves his crotch, okay? Because now, if my outside foot is in his crotch, I can recover whichever way he wants to go, right? So I take 1 step and I'm right here. If he takes 2 steps and tries to come back inside, I'm square. I'm here, right? Okay, I'm ready to cut off that inside rush lane. Now, say if he wants to keep widening out, boom, 1 set, he keeps working outside. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Expecting that 3rd step. By that 3rd step, he's going to try and have his counter move, right? Or he's just going to keep running himself out of the play. 2 sets equals 2 feet of distance, okay? So if he's out and I'm in my stance and I can't reach him, okay, he's 2 feet, about 2 feet away, I'm going to take 2 sets. So I'm going 1, 2, okay? A little bit more depth because he's a little bit further out, right? Okay? And then if he's super wide, you can get 3. I mean, if he's way out there, we'll take 3 sets, okay? Number 1 coaching point for us, my outside foot in the D-line's crotch, we talked about that, okay? Again, that helps us block the angle, okay? As soon as my outside foot gets outside of his crotch, what have I done? Open the inside move, and you'll never win this angle again, right? Okay? I don't care how good or how athletic you are. Okay, so outside foot in his crotch right there, all the time, okay? The other thing is, and I got this from Coach Thornton when he was at Ole Miss, okay? Keep your front foot true north, okay? Keep your front foot true north as long as possible, okay? What that means is I want my front foot to be in a straight line in my set, okay? Because the number one thing that happens is when this toe moves, okay, we turn our body, right? And I want to stay square. I want to stay square as long as possible, as long as this guy will let me, right? Okay? So if I have my front toe going north, I'm here, okay? I'm straight back to my set, okay? Now, as soon as I turn my toe, that's when my body starts to turn and open and I give a two-way go, right? Okay? So keep that front foot true north, okay? Boom, right here. I'm true north, one set, square shoulders, ready to punch, okay? All right, so, again, tying this all together. Here's Pearl River, okay? Again, we knew they were a big man-to-man coverage team, man blitz. First things first, okay? And this fires me up as a coach. This makes me super proud, okay? Double A gap blitzes, right? Here they are. Linebacker that's going to Alabama right there, okay? Top defensive end pass rusher in the country right there, okay? Look at these guys talking though. This is what makes me fired up. They know exactly what's going on, right? What do we talk about? Communicate, think, act. Communicate, think, act, okay? These guys are at the line of scrimmage and they're talking about it. They see it, they know, right? I got two linebackers in that gap. I got no safety help back here. I know it's coming. I know they're coming. I know they're bringing the house. This is what they do. We've talked about it. We watched it on film. We saw it. They're not going to bluff us, okay? They're coming because, like I said, this guy's going to Alabama, okay? This guy's at Liberty, okay? They feel like they're better than us, so they're going to bring it, right? So now we talk about it, we think about it, and we take action, okay? Put our best guy in the best chance to be successful, right? Again, there's my guy going to state. We had him in the backfield first play of the game. Now we got him in the slot, okay? We know we're getting zero coverage. Boom. We're able to take the deep shot. But, okay, again, right here with Turner. Left tackle, number 78 right here, okay? We're running full slide protection, okay? Nothing fancy, all right? Full six-man slide, right? He knows he can take two sets right here, okay? Take two sets. Keep that front foot true north, okay? True north, square shoulders. This left tackle is 245 pounds. Starting in Mississippi Junior College now. 245 pounds, he was a triple option guy, okay? He signed at Alcorn to play tight end. True north, boom, boom. Now, we can work him out, okay? We block the angle first. You block the angle, you block the man, okay? That inside angle is always secure, always secure. Foot is true north. At the end, now we can just run him out of the play, okay? Same thing with our left guard right here. On the inside, we teach the shoe set, okay? So we're just picking him up and putting him down, okay? If he's right on us right here, just pick him up and put him down. Take the fight to him. No need to get wide. Again, outside foot in his crotch. Outside foot in his crotch. As long as we have that alignment, we're going to win this block, okay? Now, it ends up being a wad of humanity, but that's because they're bringing both of those linebackers right there, okay? So it ends up being a little bit of a cluster because they're bringing so much pressure, and the center and the guard are there, but it ends up working out, okay? Again, running back, you're a backside protector, right? Okay? Block the angle first. Now, he doesn't do a great job of blocking the person, but at least he takes away the inside rush lane first. Gives us the time that we need, right? Okay? Block the angle, you block the man. He does exactly what he's coached to do. get to the edge of this tackle, shut off that inside rush lane, make him work out, okay? I'd like for him to put him on the ground, but we block the angle and we get the pass off, okay? Again, understanding, going back to the quarterback, and here's part of the thing with protection for the quarterback, okay? Protect yourself too, right? Understanding protection is protecting yourself, okay? So when we know leverage, eyes, and depth, okay? We know pre-snap already, right? This is man-to-man, A-gap blitzes. I gotta get this ball out fast. I gotta get to the top of my drop and I gotta let this thing ride. I know it's man-to-man. I know we're getting a zero blitz, right? I gotta find where number 3 is and I gotta get him the football, okay? Half of protecting the quarterback is helping him protect himself, okay? Understand those things, leverage, eyes, depth, okay? Find where your dude is, get the ball out quick, boom, let it ride, okay? All right, here we go. Full slide against Hines now, okay? Now, right tackle, okay? We're not able to touch him in our set, okay? So we know we can take 2 sets, right? Boom. My outside foot stays in his crotch. Block the angle first. Block the angle, block the man, okay? By his 3rd step, he's committed and we can work him out. Boom, protecting that inside, right? Foot true north. Lead foot true north. Staying square. I'm ready to defend inside or out, okay? Running back does a great job again. Block the angle. Now, the one thing I would tell him, I want this block to be made more at the line of scrimmage. I don't want you to have to sit there and wait, especially on the defensive end, right? I want you to go take the fight to him more at the line of scrimmage, but he blocks the angle first. Then he gets a great cut on the guy, okay? Outside shoulder on his inside leg. Boom, cut him down. Okay, but he does a great job of blocking the angle first, which I appreciate, okay? If you block the angle, you'll block the man. Okay, left tackle does a great job of staying square. 3 technique leaves. I know I got somebody coming, boom. Don't get in a hurry, don't get in a panic. Again, understanding leverage, eyes, and depth, right? Left guard does a great job. Boom, that guy comes to me, I take him. Left tackle knows that 3 technique leaves, somebody's coming, right? Boom. Block the angle, you block the man. Again, now for the quarterback. No one getting man-to-man coverage again, right? Same thing, same look. 1 high safety, 2 guys over 2, 2 guys over 2, right? I know I'm getting the ball out quick. Find my best player. Where's my best player? He's out here at the bottom of the numbers, right? Get it to him. Again, help protect yourself. Get that ball out quick. All right. Now, we're in our 6-man pro now, okay? Nothing fancy. Again, half slide, half man, okay? So we're running the slide to the field right here. Tackle knows, all right, I got 2 sets on 32 right here, okay? I got 2 sets on him. He's got 2 feet of distance. I can't touch him. I got 2 sets. I'm gonna work true north, 1, 2, okay? He does this fancy little move here. I don't really know what this is called or what he's trying to do off the line of scrimmage, but hey, it doesn't matter, right? I take 1, 2, 1, 2. Stay square, make contact, okay? Block the angle first. Don't get worried about all the extra stuff, right? Block the angle first. 1, 2. Boom. Make good contact. Stay square. Foot true north as long as possible. okay? He keeps that lead foot true north as long as possible. As long as that foot is true north, he can stay square. Boom. Okay? Left guard here does a pretty good job of shoe setting this. He just gets a little over the top heavy, right? But he does a pretty good job of shoe setting this at first. Outside foot in his crotch. Outside foot in his crotch. Running back. Great job on the blitz pickup, right? Boom. Block the angle, block the man. We know where he's trying to get to. We're not going to let him. And now we created another big play. So now for the quarterback, a little bit different look now, right? Okay. Pre-snap alignment, we see too high. Okay. We see too high pre-snap. We know we've got a double post concept coming from the boundary, okay? So we're going to read the double post out. Our best player is right here in the slot, running what we call the bender. Takes the safety with him and opens up our deep shot, okay? Again, help protect yourself. Get to the top of your progression. Get the ball out fast. All right, so here's my first week on the job at Mississippi College, okay? Again, they've been triple option, double slots, okay? So first things first, we gotta teach them progressions, right? Quarterback's gotta learn how to read progression, okay? So we're just running shallow dig, or we're running shallow dig out of double slot, okay? So he's gonna have the shallow route coming across, our dig's coming from the left right here, we sent him on a wheel route, and we have our deep shot post coming from the right, okay? So they play a 3 safety defense. Their defense is a 3 safety defense. So 1, 2, and 3 is out of the shot right here, okay? So with this shallow dig concept, okay, first thing I'm teaching the quarterback is we're gonna read leverage of this guy, okay? That's the middle of the field safety, right? Okay, so we're gonna read his body language, okay? If he's not getting depth off the snap, I got a shot with the post, right? So he's flat-footed. I know right now he's flat-footed. He's not getting out of there. It's too late. Boom. Okay? Taking a shot on the deep post. All right? But anyway, this is a great example right here. Okay? Teaching these guys how to pass protect. Okay? They're used to run blocking, right? They're really good at that. Now teaching them to pass protect. Okay? I know by leverage, he's type 5, right? He's on me. He's going to try and have that two-way go, okay? Don't set out. Don't jump out. See how he's opened that space right here? He's at his outside foot on his outside of his crotch, right? Okay? You've opened up this two-way go. Now, our guard comes in and helps us and saves us. We're just running same 6-man pro that we were just running. Now we're just running it out of the slot back set, right? Okay, so our B back is our protector. We got our slide to the left, okay? But there's no reason to set out, okay? No reason to set out. Take one quick set, straight back. Boom, straight back, just come straight back. You've opened up space right here for this guy to take this two-way go. Our guard just helps us and saves us, boom. He understands the protection though, right? He understands he's on the slide side. He understands, hey, I don't have any pressure, I can help, okay? I don't have any pressure, I can help.
On a down-to-down basis, you know, just looking at the picture on screen, have you had to mess with the tilt in their stance? I mean, did they used to be, you know, tilted way forward? Do you have to sit them back more since you got there?
So we haven't done that yet, and I don't know that we are, to be honest with you, because I think it's too much of a part of who they are.
Yeah.
You know?
Are they tilted way
yeah,
forward?
they like to tilt.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to try. I don't want to mess with anything because I don't want to give tendencies, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But they've done a really good job of learning the pass protections, learning the sets, right? And this is a really good example of it. Like we said, with the left tackle here, He's very athletic. He's gonna be a good player. This kid was a freshman last year, but he's not pass protected, so he's learning, right? So we have good tape to show him, keep your outside foot in his crotch. There's no reason for you to jump out if he's already on your shoulder, right? Just come one set straight back with your outside foot right in his crotch. Stay right there. Now you're good. You've taken away the inside rush lane.
And you guys are kind of in the, based on what I see, you guys are kind of in the philosophy of you kind of want to widen the pocket. You know?
Yes.
And it's not as vertical, so which makes it easier if you're tilted. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's a big part of that, okay? Again, now you look at the right tackle, look at 75 right here. He's got a tight 5'2", he's right on his shoulder. He takes the fight to him right there on the line of scrimmage. Now he's a little bit more aggressive than I would say that I would want him to be. He's almost run blocking this thing. I love that he's taking the fight to him, but I don't want you to take it to him as a run block, okay? I don't want you to get top heavy. Take your one set, but he's keeping his outside foot in his crotch. He's done a great job anchoring down, okay? I still want him to take probably that one kick set instead of running up and just going and getting him right now, but I love the fact that he's aggressive, okay? The fact that he's aggressive and he's taking the fight to the guy, we got a chance, right? Okay? And he's using good leverage, okay? Outside foot in his crotch gives us a chance to complete the deep ball. Again, quarterback, the best way to protect yourself is to understand protection, right? Understand your timing, understand your concepts. Get a good read, top of your drop, ball comes out, okay? So let's say the safety were to drop deep, this middle of the field safety were to drop deep. Now our eyes go to the overhang, okay? Straight to the overhang, so we're gonna read him. If he drops with the dig, then we hit the shallow. And the shallow's coming wide open, right? Boom, there it is. So if that safety were getting depth at the snap, okay, his eyes immediately go to the overhang drops into that dig window, boom, we're right here. All it is shallow dig. Same thing we run out of 2x2 in the air raid concept, right? But now we're running it out of double slot, okay? And we're protecting it. We're doing a good job protecting it.
Why do you guys have the post on the opposite side of post air raid teams? Like, why are you bringing the post away from the dig? What's the thought process there?
Well, that's how the head coach wanted it.
Good answer.
Sorry, that wasn't really a
No.
question, but.
Yeah, no, and I understand what you're saying. I do get that, but you also got to remember too, in this system, there's only 1 and 1.
Yeah.
So they're getting their deep post coming from the opposite side because we're not in a double set, you know. So that is a good question though. But yeah, I kind of thought the same thing at first, but then when I realized and I remembered, okay, well we're not in 2x2. You know, we're not in our double set like I'm used to. We're in double slot. So now we've got different philosophy, different rules there. But hey, it's still cool though, right? We still get the deep shot. We still get what we want. But you know, I do get that. That's a good question.
You come up with a fancy name for this offense yet? Air raid pass game.
Yeah.
Double slot. We can hashtag the hell out of that now.
Yeah. I'm open to all suggestions. Air triple, triple raid, whatever y'all want to call it. Y'all find something fancy and cool, I'm in, okay? So, but it's fun. It's been exciting to see these guys. They're so anxious and eager to learn, right? Okay? Again, one of the things when I got the job was everybody said John White, he was not the better thrower, okay? Well, it's not that he wasn't the better thrower. It's just that the timing of everything was off. Okay, like with post wheel again, going back to it, teach them, okay, communicate with them, tell them exactly where you want them to go, all right, for our posts, we break it at 10, opposite field goal post is our anchor point, watch how this ball is released, where it goes. I mean, that is exactly how it's coached, okay, he's going to the opposite field goal post, we're throwing it up, it's a layup ball, right? We're just laying that ball out there. We should complete this in the dark as long as we know where the field goal post is. Okay? So, I mean, again, it's just getting down to the specifics with them. They don't know. Again, they didn't know what they didn't know. Those receivers, they've been wide blockers for years and years and years. Okay? Their wide receivers coach has been a GA every year. You know, they haven't had a real wide receivers coach yet. You know, they've got some guys that have done a good job with them, but they didn't understand the importance of those angles. They didn't understand the importance of being able to release and take the right release and what corners are playing and what safeties are playing, right? So, again, great throw, okay? It's not that White can't throw or he's not the better thrower. It's just that he hadn't had the opportunity yet, right? He hadn't had the consistency around him to build a full field concept. So that's one of the things that's been exciting to see with these guys. Now we get to post wheel, okay? So here's where it gets real fun, okay? This is where it gets real tricky. So now, when they ran post wheel before I got there, it was just straight post wheel. That's all it was. And they're running a full 7-man pro up front. Really 8-man pro, because you got the B-back, okay? So they were just running post wheel, or 7-man pro, excuse me, because he would be the wheel guy. So they're running post wheel, and there's two options. It's either the post or the wheel. And if it's not there, you just throw it away or pull it down and run, okay? So I was like, well, shoot, we're triple, okay? Let's give him a check down. Let's put this guy in motion, and let's make it look just like triple, right? So now we go post to wheel to back, post to wheel to back. Now we got a check down involved. Again, teaching the high angle, 10 yards, stick it on the post. Other exciting thing we're doing is we're reading the wheel route now, right? Okay? Slot back's reading the corner. That corner gives depth, boom, set it down. Don't run to get covered, right? It's the air raid. Don't run to get covered, set it down. And again, we've added the check down to it, okay? So now we got post, wheel, guy coming across. It looks just like triple. Looks just like it. And that's where they want to live in. That's where they want to be. Slot back does a great job of setting up the wheel. We make it look like an arc release block, right? Sell it. Make it look like arc. Make it look like you're going to pick that guy up. Slipping, boom. Corner gets depth, set it down. Okay? Again, but it's just been working those landmarks with them. Working them to understand, hey, get to 10, set it down. He's probably a little deep right there, but I'm not going to eat his lunch about it right now. He's learning, right? And we just made a completion on a ball that last year probably would have been incomplete. You know? And so that's been the fun thing about building this offense and learning. And again, with the protection right here, we don't do a great job at left tackle, okay? We got a tight 5. But we don't get our set, right? We don't get our kick set. Get one kick set right there at left tackle. Just one set. He's tight. He's tight on us, but you still got to get that set, right? You still got to get one at least. Boom, get you a little depth, and now you can take that fight to him. But they're kind of used to, again, it goes back to terminology, being able to speak the same language. When they talk about taking the fight to somebody, it's a little bit different than what my take the fight to somebody has been at, Southwest in the air raid. So he's taking that fight to him as a triple option O lineman. Now take that set. Just take that one set. Boom. That one set. You've done a good job. Hey, great job on the angle, right? You block the angle first, take away the inside. But now just take that one set with it, and you've got him blocked. You've got him beat. He's done. He's toast. You've taken away the inside. You've taken away his two-way go. Now the only thing you can do is work outside, right? Okay? But again, guard does a great job. Left guard, hey, you've got the eyes. Nobody comes in your gap. You can help. He recovers. He goes out there and helps him out. Right guard does a great job. We got an A-gap pressure coming, right? You're on the man side, okay? Excuse me, he's on the zone side. I messed you up on that one. But again, great job of understanding the protection though, right? Understanding that, hey, that's my gap. I got a zero nose. That zero nose vacates, gives me space. I got the eyes, picking up anything in my gap. Boom. So you can see being able to talk to those players, being able to communicate to them, right? Communicate, think, react, communicate, think, react, okay? How does that translate from the air raid to the triple, where everybody said, man, that all they've done is run the ball. All they've done is run triple. You think you can throw it there? Shoot you at. They just gotta learn it. We just gotta talk to them. We gotta think about it, right? Now, we're not gonna wholesale be air raid. We're not gonna do just 4 verticals out of this stuff all the time. But how can we adapt our playbook and how can we improve the passing game, okay? You think about it, you talk about it, you think about it, and you take action, okay? You teach these players to talk about it, think about it, take action. That's how it translates, okay? That's how you can translate from triple to air raid, from high school to college, from college to NFL, okay? It doesn't matter, it's all ball, it's all football. But being able to communicate and teach those guys, teach them to think, teach them to react on their own, okay? That's what's important to me. And I think on this point, being in junior college the last 2 years, you gotta understand, in our situation, not only do we have to recruit, but we have to get our guys recruited, right? Okay? So understand this, most Division I schools are looking for more reasons not to offer your guys than to offer them. Okay? I got just as many phone calls about other players in the league. Hey coach, what'd you think about this linebacker? Was he really that good? Hey man, what'd you think about this DN? Did he have a good game against y'all? How did he do against your tackle? They're gonna look for more reasons not to offer your kids than to offer them. Okay? So give them a full arsenal. Teach them how to talk. Teach them how to think. Teach them how to act. Okay? Teach them. Teach them all of that. So that way when their opportunity and their moment comes, they're ready to go. Another good example, okay? My receiver goes to Ole Miss for his first camp session, okay? And he's out there, Derek Nix is looking at him and just not sure the thing that Ole Miss was worried about, could he learn the playbook? Guy was a non-qualifier out of high school, you know? They were worried about, could he learn the playbook? So they're out there running 7-on-7, and Bizarre's coming to the book every time. And he's getting a call and he'll go out there and run. He's getting a call and go out there and run. And I'm sitting there like, you know, a nervous dad watching my kid go out and play football for the first time. So anyway, after everything was over with, Coach Nix comes up to me and he's like, I love him. I want him here. He's like, I was so impressed with him. I was like, really? He said, yes. He said, but the thing that sold me on him was he was coming to the book and he would say, oh, that's Virginia. Oh, that's Maryland. Oh, that's Texas. And he was like, finally I asked him, like, what are you talking about? He said, that's what we call it. He said, right then I knew he could learn. Because he listened to you. He was applying what you taught him. He's looking at that playbook. He was like, whatever your 4 verticals is, he knows exactly what it's called because he came up to the book and he said, oh, that's that. Whatever your mesh is, he looked at that book and said, that's that. He said, I knew he could learn right then. I was sold. He's like, we already know he's a 4.33 40 guy. We already know he makes plays in junior college. We already know all that stuff. Didn't know, wanted to see, can he learn? And right then he knew, hey, that kid took what you taught him and brought it right here and made plays on our field. I can win with that guy. So again, if you can get them to that point, you can teach your guys to communicate and think and act on their own as individuals. They'll take care of the rest, especially if they got talent. So, any questions on any of this? I know I've been talking for a long time and I get long-winded, so any questions on any of this? Man, I appreciate y'all's time, man. Thank y'all.
I did. I had a question, and this
ahead.
is a generalized question, so feel free to chime in on this, anybody. So, you know, when I played, it was roll the meatball, 2-handed strike, and I think it's kind of a newer thing, and pretty much everybody's going to the independent hands and protection. Mm-hmm. Is there any particular way that you want your guys to carry their hands when they protect? So for instance, I've heard some guys say carry the outside hand high and the inside hand low, or I've heard some guys say kind of carry them in close proximity to each other, so that way when the bull rush comes, you know, you're ready to strike with two hands. Out of their set, what should their upper half look like?
That's a good question. So, in my opinion, I always want my hands to be inside, ready to strike. Now, that's just me. Now, my O-line coach, he wanted to teach the double under on inside zone.
Yeah.
So, he was a big double under guy. So, we've tried to make everything look as similar as possible. So, when we come out of our stance, we want it to be here. Same thing with inside zone. We're getting ready to do our double under. We want it to be here, right? So we try to make everything look as similar as possible, but I'm open to any ideas or thoughts or suggestions, because I just always wanted them to just be ready to strike no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter how you want to coach it or how you want to teach it, I just want their hands to be here. I don't want them to have to come back, you know,
Right, yeah.
and load or anything like that. So that's just my thought.
I know Willie Anderson, you know, he always talks about low hands, you know. They say inside hands win, he said low hands win. And he'll catch a bull rush like that with the low hands, which is just, I found super interesting. Do your landmarks change? So your knee to crotch, if you're on the short side, right, not man side, so you got help coming behind you, do you widen your landmarks ever, or are you just knee to crotch all the
I try
time?
to keep it consistent.
Yeah.
I want their outside foot and their crotch, because even if I know I got help coming, I don't want to only depend on that. I don't want their thought process to change, right? I don't want them to think like, oh, I know I got a guy coming this side of me, so I can widen out or do something different, right? I want them to be consistent throughout the process.
Yeah.
Go ahead and block him on your own first. Then if something happens, like we saw on that first snap from MC, let's say I do take a wrong step, or I do overset it, or that guy just beats me to the inside off the snap, I know I do have help coming, but I want to try and do everything the same first.
Yeah.
That's just my thought process on that.
You teach a vertical set ever, for anything?
No.
Even as a tool?
We did teach vertical set when I was at Sanford, but I just got to the point where we were seeing, especially at Southwest, we saw, and I think part of it is the way defenses are built these days.
Yeah.
Defensive and defensive ends are so athletic.
Yeah.
They all, like, I know our D-line coach always taught a two-way go for all of his guys. So he was teaching really off 2 to 3 steps. Hey, I'm going either inside or out, but on that third step, I'm making a decision, right? So now, if he sees that they're opening up space on the inside on that third step, he's coming in. So I don't really teach a vertical set because we saw so much of it, and we were a passing team at Southwest, so everybody was trying to get the edge for the most part, you know. But that, again, having a 6'6", 320 tackle kind of helps.
Yeah, no doubt.
With that, but so that I didn't know. I just always told them, hey, everybody's trying to play us two-way go because everybody's trying to be athletic. Nobody wants to take our guy man to man. They want to try and open up space somehow. So we just always taught it, hey, 1 set, 1 foot, 1 set. If he's on us, we take 1 set. We just keep it right there on the line of scrimmage. Don't allow him that two-way go.
Anybody else got anything? We're about to wrap it up, so speak now or forever hold your peace.
I know you talked about tendencies earlier, and definitely don't want to like have your hand down when you're running and have your hand up when you pass it.
Yeah.
But do you find any challenges with having your hand down as a tackle? And once you take that set, you tend to be a little top heavy or a little bit over your toes when you go to punch.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of my kids have that problem with like they want to bring everything when they punch instead of staying out of it.
Yeah.
And it causes a lot of problems on the edge. Do you find any problems with having a hand on the ground?
Yeah, so and that's a good question because transitioning from Southwest to MC, that's been one of the things. Yeah, my tackles were in a 2-point at Southwest. Yeah, and these guys, they've been in 3-point because that's what they do. So I'm learning a little bit about that. I traditionally, based on what we did at Southwest, I preferred the 2-point because it kept them more balanced.
Right.
And it kept them more upright. You know, they were able, because you're going to play in junior college Division I defensive ends week in and week out. Right. And so that's the thing with us. I wanted them to be in a 2-point stance. I felt like they were better balanced. I felt like they were more ready. And that was my personal opinion. Now, being at MC, they're in a 3-point stance. So again, that's something that I'm learning a little bit more about. And as spring ball continues for us, it's something that I want to look at and watch them and how they set and how it affects them. But I think if you're quick enough, which these guys, the thing about these guys, they're not too tall, they're not 6'6", 320, but they are quick. So if they're quick enough and we get a good set, we teach a good set, we teach good balance, just as long as we get to that point, I think we'll be okay. But I do agree with you. I think 2 points for me for
Right.
tackles.
I know when I played, like, if I've got a top 5 on me, I know he's shot out of the gun as soon as that ball is snapped.
Mhm.
And if it's set punch, if I'm coming out of the 3-point stance, I just feel like I'm not as prepared for that punch. If I'm got my hand down, because I wouldn't be in it too. But I was just gonna switch stuff, that's it.
No, I agree with you. I think the same thing. And from what I've seen so far, I mean, it is a challenge for those guys in the 3-point stance. That is something that, you know, and again, once we get into the Delta State and West Floridas of the world and Valdosta's that are gonna have those birds on the edge, you know, we'll see how it goes. And that's just something that I think, hopefully our threat of the run helps slow that down some though, and helps slow them down some. And again, it's something that, as long as schematically it all comes together for you, I think that's another big part of it. As long as everything flows schematically with what you wanna do, you know, that, I think you're good. I think you're safe there. Because again, for us, we're not gonna make a living out of 5-6 man pro. It's gonna be a shot play type thing, or we know, hey, their safeties are giving us, quarters, or they're crashing hard on 3, or whatever the case may be, and we just know it's there. That's kinda gonna be, for us, the answer, and hopefully those times that we pass protect will be safe, you know, cause it'll be a huge change up.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, we're big on what power counters on and like, but when it comes time to pass, like, we need to be enough of a pass threat to make it work. Like,
I did think it was easier for my guys in junior college out of 2-point, based on what we wanted to do, but we threw the ball, you know, a heck of a lot more. So that was kind of the thought process there for me. Anybody else got any questions?
All right, guys. Hey, be on the lookout for Twitter for dates for next year. And I mean, obviously, everybody's welcome to come back. And if you're driving through Edmonton this time next year, I'll make sure to holler at you. Thank you guys for coming. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you so much.
Josh, awesome job.
thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Yeah, we're carry, we do a lot of right? Shit you're talking about, little Paul, where he Paul out there, he carries his hands to match the stagger of his stance, right? Yeah, that's what we target. So everything our hand is based on hi-hat rush, low hat rush. So any hi-hat rush is independent hands for us, right? Any low hat rush, what do you expect? Boom. So that's, we two-hand punch any low hat rush. Hi-hat rush, boom, hands are up, hands high, boom, I'm picking independent hands. I give me low hat, hands down, I'm thinking, sometimes two hands and double run. So that's it.
Jackson threw
pretty much. So that's how everything, our hands are based on hi-hat.
Well, you got them all in South Florida.
Hey, thank you for that.
No, I appreciate it, I enjoyed it. If I'm around next year, I'll come back.
Talk to you later. Absolutely.
I did. I played at A-Rab. I sure did.
Appreciate it, y'all.
Enjoy, Josh.
Be safe. Thank you.
Always,
It was
man.
good meeting you. Always good to be here. It was good to watch.
I'll be back next year.
Yeah. Hey, I was a little bit shocked when he took that job, just because he's from A-Rab.
Yeah.
You know, and, well, it wasn't so much that. It was more of, you know, I just never expected it. You know, I didn't see it coming. But I mean, good job. You know, so, I mean, why not take it?
Right. He's an ambitious guy.
Oh, yeah.
Really ambitious guy. He's O-line last year. I came in last year, was my first year, and I was under him, but I worked with the JV.
Yeah.
And then, they're gonna be bumping me in that spot this year. I think they're bumping more towards.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was great. I loved it, man. I appreciate you coming. Come back next year, man. Just come hang out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Appreciate you letting me do it.
Ton of fun, man.
That was my first time to clinic talk,
Ooh,
so
that's fun.
Yeah.
You did a great job. It was awesome, man.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Very good. Yeah, it's awesome.
Thanks a lot for coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Like I said, anything we could do in the future is for like, reach out and
Yeah, 100%.
visit us. No,
Man, the quality of the speakers, man, 2 years in a row, and I was just like pumped.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's why I think like all the tweets were hitting too, like
Oh
they're
my
all,
gosh,
man,
Souls. That was just, look, that was a gift from heaven. You know, like I'm just looking through Twitter, offensive line coach, Greenville, Alabama, Saskatchewan. You know, it's just like, where did that come from, man? But like, and this same thing happened with COG last year. Where I just randomly, and he's like, yeah, I'll be recruiting Florida. I'll stop by on my way. And I'm like, oh my gosh, man, it's just.
It's awesome. That's good, yeah,
Crazy.
Bobby was able to come down too, yeah, it's good to get some guys from North to come down too.
Yeah,
so.
well, I want to keep that going.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
I want to, you know, I'd love to get some West Coast guys, but you know, last year we had Coach Newsom from UTEP,
Yeah.
and he came. But I'd like to get some Cali guys out here. That'd be fun.
That'd be nice, yeah. Yeah, if you ever any reach any Northeast guys, let me know.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I can try to help some of those guys
100%.
out too, so.
Now that you said that, my wheels are turning. I'll get back to
Yeah,
you.
yeah, good. Anybody in Northeast, let me know. I'm sure I know somebody knows somebody if I don't know, you know, so, cause it's like 1 billion schools packed into like 10
Where's
miles.
Colgate?
Colgate
Is that Northeast?
No.
Or maybe not Colgate. Concord. What's the school that's the big wide zone school? They're FCS up there. It's like Concord or Colgate or one of the two. That might be a totally different place.
I don't know.
But anyway, I'll get back to that one.
Yeah, let me know.
But I do appreciate y'all
Cool.
coming.
Yeah, like I said, we're
So-
we're here till tomorrow anyway, so we're gonna do a little exploring just to
Oh
check
man,
out.
it's a great city.
Yeah.
Great city.
That's-
I mean, there's plenty to do.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and everything's clean.
Right,
You know,
right.
that's what's good about Huntsville.
Yeah.
And it's a great place to have a clinic, I think.
Yeah.
You know.
100%.
Location, right?
That's my favorite. We haven't.
I mean, Nashville's 2 hours, Birmingham's 2 hours, Chattanooga's 2 hours, Atlanta's 4 hours, you know. It's a great kind of central location.
Right, absolutely.
You know. So,
Thank you very much.
Hey, it was good to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well.
So Chris, I don't remember your first name.
Danny.
What was it again?
Danny.
Danny.
Danny, yes.
Chris and Danny, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I think you follow me on Twitter, I should remember.
I believe so,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's
all good, man.
It was great to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Y'all take care.
Enjoy it.
Hey, man.
Really enjoy it.
Thank you for coming, man.
Yes, sir,
This
yes,
is
sir.
fantastic.
Hey, I'm looking forward to next year, for real.
See you later, coach.
See you finishing. See you finishing.
Looking forward for real.
Yeah, man. We gotta figure out I try to work it around the spring break schedule.
Oh, yeah.
So last year we had it in June, which had its pros and cons.
Right.
The good part about having it in June is everybody's available.
Right.
Everybody's got to teach. You know, the bad part about having it in June is, well, for me, I was fighting against camps. We had like 4 different speaker changes last year, and it would be because, yeah, coach, I'm available. You know, all good. Coach, no joke. I had a coach 3 days before the clinic last year. Coach, we booked the camp. I can't be there. And so I had to find a speaker replacement like 3 days before the clinic. So I said, you know, next year, and we did. We had a few less. We had probably 50 last year. This year we had 20 that bought, and then you know probably about 10 or 15 guests. So we had about 35 total in attendance this year. So we've dropped by about 15, but I didn't have to fight that battle with the coaches. You know, I was able to get my speakers. They were who they were. And there was no changes. You know, and so it's probably just going to stay that way. And you know, like the thing about doing it now at this time of year too is you're competing with the other clinics around.
Right.
You know. Because I know like the NHCSA or whatever they are, the strength guys, they had their clinic in Prattville 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they did.
And then next week, Shay's having his clinic in Birmingham. And so, I mean, there's just a bunch, it's clinic season, you know.
Yeah.
But we're, I think, specialized enough, you know what I mean? Like the offensive line group,
Yeah.
to where, you know, I think that this has something, like if you're an offensive line coach, I don't know why in the hell you'd go to a Glacier clinic.
Right.
You know, I mean, if this is here, you know, I mean, because you're gonna go to a Glacier clinic and pay $200 plus a hotel, and then you're gonna hear, you know, maybe one offensive line guy talk about one thing that has anything to do with you.
Mhm.
You know, why wouldn't you come here and hear 7 different guys talk about, you know, all kind of stuff?
Right.
You know, and so
That's
next year I gotta do. This year there was no zone anything, and I gotta change that. So. I
But
gotta-
you had his own guy who was kind of willing to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He'll talk.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Man, I was so pumped that Coach Avery just attended last year. He just showed up,
Mhm.
and him just being here was a big deal. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, like he-
yeah. And so of course this year I was like, hey man, will you please? And of course he did. You know, he's so good. But he was, he's an interesting mind, man. Coach Avery is. He's an interesting guy. But yeah, man, it was.
I've had a few conversations with him, but just off those few conversations, I'm like, this guy's.
Yeah,
he
he thinks at a different wavelength.
He does.
You know what I mean?
And I appreciate you putting this on. I enjoyed it.
I appreciate it, man.
I'll be back next year.
Absolutely.
Hey,
It was great to meet you.
You too.
Hey, so, were you at Gadsden with, were you?
Hey, hold on a second.
Oh, my fault.
was last year.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so y'all coached together on the same staff.
We did, yes,
Dude,
sir.
let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. Coach Woods joining our staff changed our football team.
For real.
That's the truth now, because, well, I mean, obviously, him, but Malik too, right? But the quality of people that they are,
Yes.
the effect that they had on our locker room and on our team was
Yes.
unbelievable.
And that's what we missed this year.
I mean, Coach
You're so right.
Coach
You're
Woods,
so right.
I've never met anybody almost like Coach Woods.
And I'm talking, yeah.
I mean, he's the real deal.
And he, you know, what he speaks about, he lives it. And
Yeah.
But yeah, he speaks about it, he lives it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Malik, not only as a player, but as a person, Malik, cause we, you know, every team has crazy guys.
Yes.
Malik be like, hey,
Yeah.
and you know,
Oh, yeah.
it ain't like, hey, can you stop? Like, hey, get your butt over there, you
Yeah.
know better than
Well,
that.
and also, you know,
Good luck the other season.
yeah, good luck, Coach. Good luck. And also the thing about Malik was he can play.
Yes, that's what I'm
So
saying.
the
He was
kids
our-
respect him for that. You know.
He was our quarterback on defense.
Yeah. Oh, us too. Us too.
I mean, he once, you know, I mean, really hated to send Will, cause I'm like, cause it was like, hey, what do we do?
Yeah.
We don't have to get a running back who was a potential starter
Yeah.
and put him on defense, cause you had to have some guy to somehow replace Malik. And
Right.
He wasn't the full replacement, but it was
Yeah.
better than what, you know.
Yeah. Well, Malik's speed, you know, from sideline to sideline, it totally changed how we played defense. And then also, you know, our guys, it's like you said, you know, everybody's got, you know, kids that are probably a little trouble
Yeah.
or whatever. And like, we definitely had our fair share.
Yeah.
But those kids gravitated
Yeah.
to Malik. And Malik was able to kind of lead them in a positive direction,
Mhm.
you know, and
It's true.
I'll just be honest, like, the kids that, you know, the kids that gravitated to Malik before Malik came around,
Yeah.
they didn't have anybody like that. Our culture at Huntsville has been bad for a long time, and so, which, it's a little bit different of a situation at Huntsville because we don't have our hands on them as much because, you know, we're under the thing where we're under a DSEG order. And so those kids can transfer from Lee or Jemison or Columbia and come to Huntsville, and they often do, you know. Well, that's good, you know, because that means, you know, we get, you know, good athletes out of that, yeah. But the bad part about that is, how do you build a culture that way?
Right.
Like, how do you, because those kids don't know each other, you know, they don't know each other, they don't rely on each other, they don't trust each other, half the time they don't even like each other.
Right.
Half the time they can't stand each other, just to be honest about it.
Hey,
And,
you know, that's